Hello and welcome to the seventh and the last part of my first fabric rose tutorial. Here we're going to learn how to shape a complex rose leaf. I have prepared my set of templates, which is a different shape of calyx, and this complex leaf, which is basically 5 smaller leaves merged together. I'm going to be backing them with this interesting shiny fabric with a silver lame thread, which is also pre-stiffened and ready to use in flower making. First job is to trace the calyx and the leaf onto the dark navy denim, and again I'm tracing them from the right side of the fabric. Then I'm cutting them out roughly, which means I'm leaving an edge of about 1 to 2 millimeters around my pen line, like we've done in the main tutorial. So now if I put my templates on top of the fabric parts, you can see that there is a border around the templates of about 1 or 2 millimeters. We need to reinforce this complex leaf with wire, and because it's such a large part, we're going to need 3 cuts of wire. One is a central wire, and another 2 are gonna be placed crisscross on top of this main central wire, like this. Make sure that the wires do not reach the tips of the leaves by about 5 to 10 millimeters, and if they're a bit too long, cut them shorter. And this is the construction we will need. The next job is to actually glue the denim parts onto the silver lining. The parts are going to go again at 45 degrees on the bias, as everything we do. I'm spreading a little bit of glue on a piece of plastic, and then placing my complex leaf on top of the glue and tapping it with my fingertips to make sure that it has covered with glue from the wrong side. Flip it over to check. If you see that not everything has got the glue on, not all the whole surface, add some more glue onto it. You can also cover the wires with glue, in this case, to make sure that they stick really well. So first you place the central wire, and then cover the smaller wires with glue and place them crisscross on top of this central wire, like this. After that, you place the leaf on top of the lining fabric. And here you need to press very firmly with your fingers. Both fabrics are not easy to work with, and denim is thick. Silver lame thread fabric is also not gluing very well, so it's very important to press well to make sure that both fabrics have glued together securely, especially around the wires, which are also quite complex here. So this is the leaf glued onto the lining fabric, and I'm placing it for now in the Ziploc bag, so it doesn't dry out before we start shaping it. In the same way, I'm now backing the calyx with this silver fabric. So again, applying some glue onto the calyx from the wrong side and placing it at 45 degrees onto the fabric and cutting it out like this. Calyx is also going into the bag until we start shaping. Once we've glued the parts, we need to cut them out, and this time we are going to be cutting them out following the pen line that we've traced. Make sure you're cutting slightly deeper between the digits or sepals of the calyx. This will make it sit better around the rose. So here is the cut out calyx, which is returning to the bag, and I'm cutting out the leaf. Now it's time to shape both calyx and leaf. I'm gonna start with the calyx. Here I'm using a firm hard rubber pad, which is about 1 centimeter thick, and we're shaping the calyx from the reverse side using this Japanese narrow spoon tool or whatever similar tool you have in your set. The shaping is easy, and it is very similar to the shaping we've done in the main tutorial to the calyx. So you're just gliding your tool around the outline of the digits of the calyx, and the fabric is going to curl up following the hot tool, and this is what we need. This bigger, wider digit or sepal, we're going to score a middle line, just like a small wavy line, to add more interest. You can use your left hand to help shaping the tips of the sepals, make them maybe a bit more pointy, curl them up if you would like. So the calyx is now shaped, and this is approximately how it is going to sit around the rosebud. Now let's shape the leaf. I'm starting with this knife tool, which is the sharpest tool in the set. This is a European knife. If you have a Japanese knife, you are very welcome to use that. I'm going to enhance the central vein first. I'm doing it by scoring a line just next to the wire, and then in the same way I'm enhancing the central veins of these other 4 leaves, again by scoring the line alongside the wires. The next step is to shape the leaves using again this Japanese narrow spoon. I'm checking the temperature if it's not too hot, and then just as we shaped individual small leaves in the main tutorial, we're going to be doing the same here, just by scoring soft curvy lines, starting on the outline of the leaf and drawing them towards the central vein of the leaf, not quite reaching it. Use your left hand to help and curl up or in the edges of the leaf if you want. Also, you can enhance the tip of the leaf like this. After you've done the first leaf, then you just turn to the second one and do it in the very same manner. They are smaller, so you will probably score fewer lines, but the idea is exactly the same. Again, I'm enhancing the tip of the leaf. So it's the same way to to shape all the other 3 leaves. Once we've shaped the leaves, we are going to shape this bit of fabric at the bottom, which is actually an imitation of thorns. So I'm going to shape one from the wrong side and the other one from the right side, so they look in the opposite directions, like this. So the leaf is ready. Here is how it looks. You can use your fingers maybe to shape, give a bit more shape or dimension to them, make the tips more pointy. It's ready to be assembled, and it's going to go roughly like this onto the corsage. So my rose is ready. I finished it with the calyx and the strip of fabric for the stem, like we've done it in the main tutorial. The next job here is to attach a brooch pin, which we are going to use to attach the corsage to a garment to wear it. I've cut out a strip of denim, which is the width of the brooch pin. Ideally, I would like to turn the edges in to prevent them from fraying, but the denim is very thick and I'm not going to do it. If you use silk, you can do that. So my strip is just the width of the brooch pin. I will need 2 lengths of thin wire to attach the brooch pin to the flower stem. They're about 10 centimeters long. What I'm doing is I'm threading pieces of wire through the hole in the brooch pin and then twisting them around the rose and the brooch pin together, wrapping them around the stem, twisting the wires between each other very, very tightly, and then cutting off the excess. So you need to do this twice, so one time at the bottom of the brooch pin and the other time on top of it. So it's attached in 2 places. Check again that it is attached where you wanted it, and there is space for the leaf to go onto the rosebud. And now we are going to cover the brooch pin with this strip of denim to conceal the wires which are holding it in place. Try to keep the seam of this strip towards the back of your rose, where it's least visible. I'm applying quite a generous layer of glue. It is important that the brooch pin is attached securely. And then I'm going to cut off the excess fabric, which I no longer require. A little bit of glue onto the very edge of this strip, and then pressing with the fingertips to make sure that it's all glued very well. The brooch pin is attached, and the very last thing to do, the final touch, is to glue this complex fantasy leaf in place. So mine is going to go here, just below the brooch pin, and to glue it, simply put a little bit of glue at the bottom between these two thorn imitations. Don't add too much because it might show when you start pressing the flower stem into the leaf. You can always add more, but it should be sufficient to glue the leaf in place as well. Place it where you want it to be, and then hold it firmly with your fingers. Let the glue set for a minute or two. After that, you can have a look at the leaf, maybe change the position of individual little leaves. And this is another version of the denim rosebud corsage.